Hello and welcome to the 2014-15 SCAC Men's Basketball Media Days. We will be going through all 8 teams throughout the week, and leading us off today from Seguin, Texas is the Texas Lutheran men's basketball team, head coach Jimmy Smith and senior guard Garrett Wilkins. And gentlemen, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. We're looking forward to the new season.
Thanks for having us. So are we.
Coach Smith, we'll start with you. This is your first season here at Texas Lutheran. Just tell us a little bit about some of the challenges you faced in your first season so far.
I think the biggest thing coming in new is just figuring out how things work at the school, what's been going on within the program, what talent we have in the program, and then also trying to adapt the newcomers in with the returning group. We have quite a few returners on the team, and so just figuring out the experiences they've had, what we can gather from that and build on, and then integrating these new guys in, and then just starting off with some new expectations and a new commitment to some different things, and just trying to get that to come together in about 3 to 4 weeks of practice before your first game is probably the biggest challenge.
Jimmy, tell me a little bit. This team has had some struggles throughout the past couple of years. Just tell me how you've been able, or how you're trying to implement a change in culture with the TLU men's basketball team.
I think the biggest thing is we've changed some expectations. Our expectation this year, I think, is probably like everyone's in the SCAC. It's to try to win a conference championship, and we understand that to get there, we've got to work harder than they've worked in the past, both on the floor and in the weight room. And that's certainly not a knock on past teams here. It's just we know we need to change some things to start climbing up in the standings. And I think the biggest thing was just the expectation of success, and then also the work ethic it takes to get there. So that's where we're at right now.
Garrett, let's turn to you. Tell me, senior on this team, just tell me about the excitement level from yourself as well as the team to have the new season approaching, coming up on November 15th against UT Dallas.
The excitement level is extremely high at this point. I mean, we've put forth so much work, and Coach Smith has been making sure that we're tightening up on some things that we haven't been so sharp on, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get going. Once it gets going, it's like a never-ending story until you reach those SCAC championships. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Jimmy, let me turn back to you. You kind of alluded to it a little bit, but share with us some of your expectations and goals for this team in 2014 and 15.
I mean, our team goal, like I said, is to try and compete for the championship. Obviously, we've got to put a lot of work in to get there. We have a very tough non-conference schedule starting out at UT Dallas, who's ranked number 22 in the nation, and then we have Concordia here at home. So we expect to go and compete in those games and, try and see where we're strong and fill in those gaps of where we need to improve on things. And we know the competition we're playing, especially early on, is going to expose some weaknesses. And so then we just got to get back to work and practice and tighten those things up, moving into conference. And then, we expect to compete in every game and win.
Garrett, back to you. What have you seen from this team throughout the preseason? Leading up to your final week of practice, getting ready for your opening game. What have you seen among this team?
I've seen a huge difference in building a family as well as a team. So family first, and then team second, and that just really creates a bond to where everybody continues to stay on the same page for the most part, and we all have that same goal that we're going towards, and I believe that we all work extremely hard to reach that goal. So like I said, I'm extremely excited to get going, and we're ready to prove some people wrong, definitely.
Coach Smith, you have 5 seniors on this team, including Garrett. I know this is your first and only year with them, but how important are they going to be to this team's success?
The seniors are going to be huge. I think one thing we talk about is some of those guys have been here. This is now their 4th year. A couple of them are transfers, but like you kind of alluded to, they haven't had the success they've wanted to have in their time here. And so trying to send them out on a high note, I think, is really motivating those guys. They've been working hard and providing a lot of leadership, and they understand what it's like. They've only been through one SCAC season, but they've also been through some ASC seasons, so they know what the grind is like and how you can't take games off and how every game is important. And one game you don't show up, could potentially cost you the conference championship or seeding or wherever, or even getting into the tournament. So I think that's something that they can pass along to the new guys is you can't take games off at all. You've got to always be ready, and that translates into not taking practices off, and that's something we talk about. So, with our seniors, we have 3 guys in the backcourt. Garrett is one of them. He was the leading scorer last year, so he brings a lot of experience and ability. We also have Joe Richardson, who's a point guard and is a hard worker who's been doing a lot of things leadership-wise as well, both on and off the floor. And then we have another guy, Josh Alderman, who is a talented shooter, a guy who's been here 4 years and is someone you definitely got to stay close to. And then in the front court, we've got Thomas Verm is our tallest guy on the team, and he was a starting center last year and provides a lot of size, scoring inside and rebounding. And then we have another senior, Dante McGee, who was a transfer last year, so this will be his second season with us. And, Dante is a very important guy as well. He can do a little bit of everything, both inside and outside. So our senior class is talented. They've been working hard, and we just need them to continue to do that and keep providing that leadership.
Garrett, going back to you, as your coach mentioned, you're one of the seniors on this team. How important is it for you to be a leader on this team throughout the year?
Simply because, those younger guys are looking towards me. If you don't know, I am the oldest on the team, so those younger guys really look towards me, and they really look to see how things should be done once you become a senior, and the whole process and getting to become a senior and making it this far, continuing to put in that work and just understanding that this is my last go around. I want to leave it all out on the floor. I want to leave it all out in practice, and any chance I get to make those guys better, that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Coach Smith, we'll come back to you. Let's take a look at the foundation of this team. Let's start with the guards. Tell me a little bit what you've seen from them throughout the preseason. Maybe some what players have stood out to you and who you expect to do some big things in the upcoming year.
Okay. I think we have a very talented backcourt. It's been interesting in practice to see the competition between both the returners and the new guys. Obviously, we talked about Garrett already. Being a guy in the backcourt that's going to be very important to us. We have a sophomore, Jordan Cormetis, who had a good season as a freshman before getting injured, and he's been doing really well in practice, providing leadership as well. We have a couple of transfers that have kind of gotten in the mix. Sterling Holmes is a transfer from Richland College who's been playing well, and also we talked about Joe Richardson, Josh Alderman as seniors. We have quite a few freshmen as well that have contributed, so I'm probably leaving someone out just right now, but every day those guys go at it, and it's been fun to watch. And every day someone new kind of has a day or does something that you don't expect, so it's going to be competitive in practice every day, and I expect our backcourt to be strong this year with the depth that we have.
And Coach, we'll stay with you, and let's take a look at the front court now. Let me ask you the same question about your post players and what you've seen from them so far.
Okay. We had a couple returners that we talked about. Thomas Verm is a senior who we expect to do some good things for us. Also, Dante McGee is kind of a guy that can play inside and out. We've got a sophomore named Mike Davis who sat out last year but has the ability to score inside and make some shots on the perimeter as well. And then we've got a couple freshmen inside, Matt Gillette and Harris Joel, Keaton Fontenot, that all provide good size and do different things. So, I think by committee we're going to have a really good group inside, and they all can do different things and can play different ways. So I think depending on matchups and how games are going, different guys will see different minutes in different situations. So I think collectively our front court is strong as well. We've got some experience, we've got some youth, but those guys have been working hard and battling as well.
Garrett, what sort of differences have you seen in practice so far with Coach Smith being in his first season?
One thing that's really stood out to me is how competitive it's been. He really brought in that edge that we've always needed, just to be able to push each other at each position and make it to the point to where nobody's expecting minutes. We are all fighting for minutes, and we're all fighting for that one goal. And that's just working together and making each other better.
Coach, back to you. 12 newcomers on this team. That includes freshmen and transfers. Just as a collective group, what have you seen from them throughout the preseason? How are they going to make an impact on this team?
Oh, I think a lot of it is what Garrett speaks to. I think those guys are competitive, and they came in pretty good shape and pretty good strength, and so they've come in and I think they've pushed some of these returners to work a little bit harder. I think that's one thing in the past that these guys have told me is they never really felt threatened, like a guy could come in and take their spot. And I think those newcomers have put a little bit of doubt in some of those guys' mind to make them get in the gym and work a little bit harder every day. So I think the biggest thing they've brought is, new excitement, both with them coming in and being excited for college basketball, but also a new excitement with the returners to see, some more talent in here. And they're also going to provide some depth. Some guys maybe in a starting lineup or first off the bench. Other guys are providing depth, in practice and pushing to get into that rotation. So the newcoming group has been good. They've really gelled well with the returners, and this team together has gotten along extremely well. I mean, they've been competitive in practice and working hard, but off the floor, they're a tremendous group to be around, and they really get along well. So it's been fun to see.
Garrett, let's get you out on this final question. For Texas Lutheran to meet its goals and expectations and be successful in 2014, what will be the key to success?
The key to success is listen to Coach Jimmy Smith. I really believe that he knows exactly what he's talking about. He's played on one of those teams that I've dreamed of playing on, one of those teams that know how to win. He knows how to win, and that's a perfect recipe for my senior year in my book. So my main goal is to make sure we get these guys on board with everything that he's about, and throughout the whole year just continue to get better, and we hope to tighten up on the things that we're not so good at very early. That way once we reach the SCAC, it's going to be amazing.
Coach, I'll ask you the same question. What will be some of the keys to success in 2014-15?
Some of the stuff we spoke of, I think our upperclassmen, our seniors need to lead. They need to lead, when things are going well and also when things aren't going quite so well. And I think that's something we talk about is even when things aren't going our way, we gotta pick ourselves up and not let one possession or one bad play or one bad game or one bad practice, whatever it is, continue on. We've got to cut that off and stay positive and get back on the right track. One thing we've been stressing a lot in practice is rebounding. I think we have the ability to play a lot of different guys that have different skill sets. We can play big lineups. We can play small lineups. But regardless what lineups on the floor, we've got to do a better job rebounding the ball, both offensively and defensively. So I feel like if we can rebound well, then we're going to be in every game. I think that's going to be the key to success for us is we gotta go chase it on both ends.
This has been the 2014 SCAC Men's Basketball Media Days here with the Texas Lutheran Bulldogs men's basketball team, head coach Jimmy Smith, and senior guard Garrett Wilkins. And gentlemen, we appreciate your time today. We thank you for joining us, and we wish you and the team good luck the rest of the season or coming into this upcoming season.
Thank you very much, James. We appreciate it. Thanks.